Chapter 1: The Perfect Sun and the Rotten World Light. Yagami was one of the most brilliant students in Japan. He was calm, intelligent, disciplined, and always ranked at the top of his class. Teachers admired him, students respected him, and his family saw him as the perfect son. His father, Soichiro Yagami, was the chief of the police task force and a man deeply committed to justice. From the outside, Light seemed to have everything: a respected family, academic excellence, and a bright future. But inside, Light was dissatisfied. He looked at the world around him and saw corruption, crime, and injustice everywhere. Criminals escaped punishment, innocent people suffered, and society seemed powerless to stop evil. This frustration slowly grew into a belief: the world was rotten. Chapter 2: The Notebook from the Sky. One day after school, while looking out the classroom window, Light noticed something black falling from the sky into the school courtyard. After classes ended, he went outside and found a notebook lying on the ground. On its cover were the words, "Death Note." Curious, he opened it. The first rule read, "The human whose name is written in this notebook shall die." Light thought it was a prank. Still, he took it home. That evening, while watching the news, he saw a criminal holding hostages inside a nursery school. Out of curiosity, he wrote the criminal's name in the notebook. 40 seconds later, the man died of a heart attack on live television. Light was stunned. He could barely believe what had happened. To test it again, he wrote another criminal's name. The same result. The man died. At that moment, Light realized the notebook was real. Chapter 3: Ryuk and the Birth of Kira. Soon after, the true owner of the notebook appeared. Ryuk, a Shinigami, or god of death. Ryuk explained that he had dropped the notebook into the human world because he was bored and wanted to see what would happen. Instead of being terrified, Light quickly began thinking about how to use it. He decided that he would kill criminals and create a world free from evil. He believed he was the only person capable of bringing true justice. At first, Light targeted murderers, rapists, and violent criminals shown on the news. But very quickly, this power changed him. Each name he wrote gave him a stronger sense of control. Criminals across Japan began dying of sudden heart attacks. Soon the deaths spread worldwide. The media gave the unknown killer a name: Kira. Some people feared Kira, others praised him. Crime rates began to fall. People started believing that Kira was justice itself. Light slowly accepted this belief. He no longer saw himself as an ordinary student. He began to see himself as the god of a new world. Chapter 4: The World's Greatest Detective. This attracted the attention of the world's greatest detective. LL was mysterious, highly intelligent, and known for solving impossible cases. To test Kira, L used a death row inmate as a decoy on live television, pretending he was L himself. Light immediately wrote the man's name. When the man died, L revealed the truth. The person killed was not the real L. By doing this, L proved that Kira was in Japan. This was the beginning of the psychological war between Light and L. Soon after, the police brought in FBI agents to secretly follow suspects. One of them, Ray Penber, was assigned to watch Light. Light quickly noticed he was being followed. Instead of panicking, he carefully planned his response. He manipulated Ray into revealing his identity and used the death note to force him to unknowingly write the names of all the FBI agents investigating the case. Once the task was complete, Light wrote Ray Penber's name as well. Ray died on a train. This was one of the most important turning points in Light's character. Until now, he had mainly targeted criminals. Now he had killed innocent investigators simply because they stood in his way. This showed that his sense of justice was already becoming corrupted. Chapter 5: Innocent Blood and Cold Calculation. After Ray's death, his fiancée Naomi Masora, a former FBI agent and an extremely intelligent investigator, began searching for Kira on her own. She quickly connected several clues and came dangerously close to discovering the truth. This became one of Light's most brilliant and cold-blooded moments. Light approached Naomi, gained her trust, and carefully manipulated the conversation until she revealed her real name. The moment he learned it, he wrote it in the death note. Naomi walked away in despair, disappearing to her death. This scene is crucial because it proves Light is no longer simply fighting criminals. He is now willing to eliminate anyone, innocent or not. Eventually, Light joined the police task force led by his father. This allowed him to stay close to the investigation and keep track of L's moves. Soon, Light and L met face to face. Both immediately suspected each other, neither had proof. Their relationship became a battle of minds. Every conversation was filled with hidden meaning. Every smile was strategic. Every action was calculated. This mental chess match became the heart of the story. One of the most iconic scenes during this period is when Light secretly kills criminals while being watched under surveillance. He hides a small television inside a bag of potato chips and writes names while pretending to study. This leads to the famous moment, "I'll take a potato chip and eat it." This scene perfectly shows his intelligence in double life. Chapter 6, Misa, Memory Loss, and the Death of L. Later, another death note entered the story. It belonged to Misa Amane, a famous idol and model. Misa admired Kira because he had killed the criminal who murdered her parents. She also possessed the Shinigami eyes, which allowed her to see a person's real name just by looking at their face. This power was extremely useful. Misa fell deeply in love with Light, but Light mainly used her as a tool. He manipulated her loyalty and devotion for his own plans. As L's suspicion increased, Light created one of the smartest plans in the anime. He gave up ownership of the Death Note. By doing so, he lost all memories of being Kira. This returned him to his original personality. Without his memories, Light genuinely appeared innocent. During this period, another man, Kyosuke Higuchi, became the new Kira. The task force investigated him. Eventually, they captured Higuchi and recovered the Death Note. The moment Light touched the notebook again, all his memories returned instantly. He remembered everything: his identity as Kira, his plans, his battle against L. This was one of the most important twists in the story. Now fully restored, Light focused on eliminating L. To achieve this, he manipulated Rem, Misa's Shinigami. Rem deeply cared about Misa and wanted to protect her. Light created a situation where Misa was once again in danger of being exposed. To save her, Rem was forced to write L's real name in the Death Note. L died. This was Light's greatest victory, but it was also the moment he fully embraced his god complex. Chapter 7, The God of the New World. With L gone, Light took his place in the investigation and secretly continued ruling as Kira. For the next 4 years, crime rates around the world dropped significantly. Many people worshiped Kira as a god. Light's ego and confidence became stronger than ever. He truly believed he was creating a better world. But L had successors, Nier and Mello. Both were raised at Wami's house. Nier was calm, logical, and analytical. Mello was emotional, aggressive, and predictable. Together, they continued L's mission. Mello's actions soon caused major damage to Light's plans. He kidnapped Light's sister, Seiyu Yagami. This forced the task force into a difficult situation involving the Death Note. Soon after, during an operation involving Mello, Light's father Soichiro died. This is one of the most tragic moments in the story. Soichiro died believing his son was innocent. He never learned that Light was Kira. The man who dedicated his life to justice died without ever knowing the truth about his own son. Light was visibly affected, but even this grief soon became secondary to his desire to win. This shows how far he had fallen. Chapter 8, The Yellow Box Warehouse, Fall of the God. At this stage, Light began using Teru Mikami as Kira's proxy. Mikami was completely devoted to Kira's ideology. He continued writing names while Light controlled events from behind the scenes. However, Nier carefully studied every move. Eventually, he discovered the connection. The final confrontation was set at the Yellow Box Warehouse. Light entered the meeting fully confident. He believed Mikami had already written everyone's names in the Death Note. He was certain of victory. But Nier revealed the truth. The notebook Mikami was using was fake. Nier had secretly replaced the real one. In that moment, Light's entire plan collapsed. For the first time, there was no escape, no backup plan, no manipulation left. Light finally admitted that he was Kira. He openly justified everything, claiming that he had reduced crime and improved the world. But no one accepted his reasoning. Matsuda, devastated by the truth, shot Light multiple times. Wounded and desperate, Light tried to escape. In the anime, he runs from the warehouse and eventually collapses on a staircase. As he lies there, he remembers his younger self before everything began. The perfect student, the ordinary boy, the life he once had. Then Ryuk appears. From the very beginning, Ryuk had promised one thing. When Light's time came, he would be the one to write his name. Ryuk writes, Light Yagami. Light dies shortly after. This marks the end of Kira. Epilogue, Reflection, Light. Yagami's story is one of anime's greatest tragedies. He began as a brilliant student who genuinely wanted to remove evil from the world. But absolute power slowly corrupted him. His justice became obsession. His intelligence became manipulation. His purpose became ego. In the end, Light did not lose because he lacked intelligence. He lost because he believed he was above everyone else. That arrogance became his downfall. And that is the complete canon story of Light Yagami.